This is Packer and Durham on ACCN and Sirius XM Channel 371.
Yes, on Sirius XM Channel 371 as well, not to mention a assortment of terrestrial radio stations in the ACC footprint. Check your local listings for that bad boy. And, of course, you're checking us out on television on ACC Network, front and center. That's how we do it.
Making sure I got my stuff all cleaned up and organized back here in case we have to do those bump shots here. Holy smokes. Got to make sure I get it all cleaned up.
Well, it might be a good idea. I mean, we are trying to be presentable. And this is not the old days of the Central where you can just show up in a baseball hat and a bad attitude and fool them for 3 hours. I mean,
That's exactly right.
We got to pretend we're professionals now that we're on television. We got to shave every day, which is the biggest – actually, it's the biggest negative of the gig. I tell people that. And what's the worst part about the job? The worst part about the job is you got to shave every day. That's the worst part. So
got a microphone. Show my microphone.
Sorry, Chester. Didn't woke up Chester there. I mean, big man, I'm sorry.
That don't wake up Chester this morning. All right. How about best of the weekend? Start the 9 o'clock hour. By the way, a feature on Mike Adler also coming up, too. We're excited about that. The Duke lacrosse goalie. You ready to go? Best of the weekend?
Let's do it. Going yard.
Tallahassee, Florida is
Grand
our first
Slammers.
stop. Friday night, Boston College was pitching them in there, and the Noles were hitting them out, Pack.
Yep, 2 grand salamis Friday, and Knowles are hitting cars out there in left field now. There were some bombs this weekend. I mean, some bombs.
Jeez.
Florida State with a couple grand slams. We showed the Miami home run. They hit 9 against Clemson. Looking lights going on and off. Man, Florida State getting the job
Florida
done.
State's got the lights package.
Yeah.
They got the lights thing going on at Dick Howser Stadium.
Yeah.
Virginia rallied from 6 down to get Louisville on Friday night in Charlottesville.
Yep.
Whoa.
Well, right through the 5-hole. Sorry, ball game.
Oh, man.
That's how you lost that one. Up 6, let that get away, and you lose that way. But give Louisville some credit, though. They lose that one. This was a big series, I thought, for Virginia. Been playing good baseball, get the huge comeback win Friday night. But Louisville wins Saturday. Louisville wins Sunday. So really kind of a tough, blown opportunity for Virginia, especially after that miraculous comeback Friday night at home.
Charlotte North a week ago had 10 goals against Virginia Tech. And then when she joined us a week ago, was talking about the focus had to be on Notre Dame. The focus had to be on Notre Dame. Moving forward with Boston College when it comes to lacrosse. Well, guess what happened? They swept Notre Dame. Good weekend for BC, or good couple days for BC. Yeah. Eagles continue to just add on here. And,
bring out the brooms.
I'll tell you what. Pack, neither one were close, by the way.
No, I was going to say. What is even competitive? Just took care of business. Boston College getting it done. Big time. League's good, man. League is. I am really getting into lacrosse. I got to tell you. Told you this earlier. I am starting to get in, I'm starting to get the lacrosse bug. Like, I was even watching a lacrosse game the other day. It didn't have anything to do with the ACC. I mean, I was channel surfing and went, man, I'm going to watch that. The sport is so good. And I didn't grow up with it. So this is kind of like, I've kind of found my new sport to get into. You know what I mean? Everybody needs one of those. Where you just
and Roddy Jones, I'm telling you.
I like it.
And Roddy Jones.
Great. It's fast. It's physical.
Roddy Jones is, Roddy's all about it. You guys could, tell you what, I'll be out the show here one day next week. Maybe Roddy comes in here and you guys can do the lacrosse-orama. Talk some football.
Anish does a great job. All of our experts are really good.
Anish is unbelievable.
They're
great.
They're
Carr,
awesome.
Quinn.
And I'm starting to pick up little nuances, which I had no earthly idea. I kind of feel like it's like picking up a new hobby. My new hobby is watching lacrosse in this league because the men and the women, they rock it. It is up and down. Yep. And, I know that there's some of you out there that love soccer, which is great if you're into it. But to me, lacrosse has a lot more going on. I know I'm not an aficionado in either sport, but I watch a lacrosse match, man. We're going to be people scoring. There are going to be some shots. That soccer thing is kind of an acquired – to me, soccer is kind of like the acquired taste, right? The sophistication of soccer. Lacrosse is like, hey, I got a stick, a good attitude, and let's go. Go hit somebody. I mean, lacrosse rocks, man.
All
It's
right.
tremendous.
Speaking of good attitude and a stick, is that what Carolina did Saturday at Syracuse? First
nice.
win at the Dome in 30 years.
Yeah, 91.
21-9, the final.
And listen, Syracuse is loaded, and North Carolina just came in there and said, "See you later. Not today. It's our turn. We just got off the plane. Ready?
God.
We got the jet on the tarmac. We got to get this thing over with and quickly get back to Chapel Hill." They were great. 12 different players scored. I mean, North Carolina was rocking it Saturday now. They were really out of sight.
Yeah.
Syracuse didn't know what hit them.
Haven't heard much from the Voice of Victory today, by the way. Voice of Victory been awfully quiet.
Tough weekend. Weekend.
All right. Clemson, Mike Noonan, congratulations. They win the automatic qualifier in men's soccer 2-0 Saturday night at Riggs Field. Really enjoyed the broadcast with Dowling Cuff. And tell you what, Mike Noonan's group makes it look easy, Pack. 33rd NCAA trip for the Tigers.
They just have Pitt's number. You know, sometimes in sports, no matter how good you are, the other guy just seems to find a way. Clemson sees Pitt, and they just bring it, man. So another W for the Tigers on the home field, historic Riggs Field. I've spent many an afternoon on historic Riggs Field in my day. Some I'm not proud of.
I was getting ready. Thank you. All right. Congratulations to the Tigers. We look forward to seeing how the NCAA bracket, by the way, unfolds. Florida State's women's golf team did not win the ACC championship, but likely had the biggest upset of the weekend, Pack, when they knocked off Wake Forest in match play.
Yeah, that was Saturday morning. Everybody just anticipated that we'd get Duke and Wake Forest, the two beasts. But listen, Florida State's top 5. And the ladies went out there, took care of business, knocked off Wake Forest, basically right down the road there in beautiful Sedgefield, and got to the ACC championship. But a really good weekend, despite what happened yesterday in the championship match against Duke. Really impressive by Florida State. That's a really good team. Again, you start talking about top 10 teams in this league and all these spring sports. Florida State is there, and they have a tremendous team.
Yeah. A note over the weekend from ACC basketball, and to be honest, I was kind of waiting on when this would happen because last year after the Ivy League elected not to play basketball, Jimmy Boeheim of Cornell went into the transfer portal. So I kept thinking there's no possible way he's leaving Cornell to go anywhere else but Syracuse. And sure enough, over the weekend, it was confirmed that Jimmy Boeheim will join his brother Buddy Boeheim, and they will play for their dad Jim Boeheim next year together. And Julie Boeheim will be the happiest of them all. She'll have everybody together. There's Julie on the far left with Buddy's sister, Buddy's twin sister, and now Jim gets and I got to tell you, this is going to be a thrill for Jim Boeheim, Pack. I don't know what kind of year they're going to have. Doesn't really matter. But to be able to coach both boys on the same team has got to be the thrill of his coaching career.
Number one, it'll be a thrill for Team Boeheim. I think it's going to be a thrill for us. I mean, Jimmy can play now. I mean, Jimmy and Buddy are dudes.
Yeah, he can play.
I think Syracuse will be one of those teams you'll probably see. Again, who knows what a roster is going to look like, but we know there's going to be two Boeheims on that list with Jimmy and Buddy. I think Syracuse has a chance to be pretty good. I know with this whole crazy transfer portal world, it's impossible to put your arms around what a roster is going to look like now, but they will be fun to watch, those two. That'll be a great storyline heading into ACC basketball next season, no question. And
Matt Park's going to end up with the hardest job in America, the radio voice of the Orange, because you can't go Boeheim to you got to go Jimmy to Buddy.
Jimmy to Buddy.
Yeah.
No doubt. That's how that works.
Jimmy to Buddy.
That'd be cool. Yeah. But you got to figure Dad's got to be really thrilled, right? I mean, if you're Jim Boeheim with everything you've accomplished in this world of basketball, it cannot get any better than looking down the bench and seeing your two boys on that roster and hopefully have a really good team. I mean, what a cool story.
Yep. Off to baseball. Miami swept Clemson over the weekend at the Light in Coral Gables. 5th straight series win against the Tigers for the Hurricanes. And it's a big series too, Pac. You talked about last week how big the weekend of ACC baseball would be, and Miami delivered the goods for sure.
Yeah, there were a couple teams that needed really good weekends. I thought Virginia needed a really good weekend against Louisville. They got off to a good start, didn't close Saturday or Sunday. Miami needed one, and they got, not only did they get it Friday, they got it Saturday, and they won walking off yesterday 3-2 for the sweep. I said they hit 9 home runs against the Tigers. We'll get to Clemson baseball on the other side of this, but that was a really important momentum series, I thought, for the Canes. We'll see if they can take advantage of it moving forward.
We've already told you about Coach Brooks and Duke women's golf. Their 22nd ACC championship over the weekend at Venerable Sedgefield Country Club in Greensboro. Gina Kim won the individual. It's a really, really good team, and they delivered the message over the weekend. Match play win over Florida State to capture it, and congratulations to Coach Brooks and Duke.
Now more team wins in women's golf than any other sport at Duke University. Let that marinate a second.
Crazy.
Duke women's golf. Dan Brooks, a all-time great coach. All-timer.
Yep. Carolina's women's lacrosse team has now won 21 straight. Ooh. 21 straight.
And most of them haven't been close. I mentioned to you earlier that 11-10 in the rain game against Notre Dame, about the closest they've come to even sniffing an L. They just score, man. This team is explosive. And Coach Levy, now I'm telling you, she's got it going on. Those girls can
Jenny's done a great job.
Score. Jenny's got it happen. That team's really dynamic.
All right, let's pivot to softball here. A couple players that if you're dialing through on ACC Network and you see Virginia Tech and Keely Richard is throwing, or Clemson's on your screen and you see Valerie Cagle, you probably need to stop and watch.
Yep.
At least spend a few minutes investing. Keely Richard, threw a no-hitter against Georgia Tech, 6th of her career, the first of the season. And then look at this. Keely, ground ball. We'll get Gavin Cross back on. Tell us how this would go.
I love that conversation last week.
I did too. I would kind of like to make that happen, actually.
I know. I thought about that a bunch over the weekend. And Gavin Cross, if you don't know, plays for Virginia Tech men's baseball team. And we asked him about, you get out there with Keely. She's out there throwing absolute bombs in there. He said the first, 5 attempts? He said first 3, it might be a while, then I'll start timing it up. But I'd kind of like to see that. But Keely's great now. She was on the show a couple weeks ago, and she's had an unbelievable season. Unbelievable.
We're efforting to get Valerie Cagle on because I think when you throw 2 no-hitters in a week, you probably, consolation prize would be on the Packer and Durham program. Old 72 was back out there rolling again this weekend. No-hitter against Boston College, and the stat of the game, not one ball left the infield. Come on.
It's pretty good.
Cuts down on your supplies, doesn't it?
You know what? If
she's going to buying a new box of softballs.
I'll tell you what, if she's going to do that, I'll play in the outfield. I would do that. I'll be out there with a barbecue sandwich, something cold to drink.
Valerie's chair, cocktail, and a barbecue sandwich.
I'll be getting ready for my vacation on the island.
Ball in the outfield.
Yeah.
Can we get a visual of that, by the way, Drew, Josh? Packer in a chaise lounge with a cocktail
coconut drink,
and a barbecue sandwich.
Maybe a pineapple drink.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's me.
No, don't do that.
I'm going to tell you something. Where I'm going next month, I'm going to have a pineapple drink. I'm going to have one in both hands. I'm going to have a coconut in one hand, a pineapple in another. Looking for sharks.
Men's tennis, Virginia wins its first ACC regular season title in men's tennis since 2016 in the regular season, and the Cavaliers complete an undefeated season 2-pack.
Pretty good.
Yeah, great run.
We had some national championship winners in indoor tennis, and now we go outdoors in the spring, and wahoo wah, getting the job done. Men are taking care of business.
No question. Yeah. Pitt beat Minnesota to reach the Elite Eight in the NCAA volleyball tournament out in Omaha. Congratulations to Dan Fisher and the Panthers, who upset Minnesota, who had previously eliminated Georgia Tech. in the round 2. So look forward to seeing Pitt and Washington in the Elite 8 coming up in Omaha.
Happy for Kayla Lund. She's been one of our favorite student athletes. She's been on here multiple times.
Yep.
And just know how disappointing the season, the way it ended last year, as talented as this team was. And now here they come, unseeded. There's no number beside their name, and they've just gone WWW to get in that position. And, man, how cool would it be if Pitt could get to the Final Four, huh, and win this whole thing? A great story.
No question. Final note from Best of the Weekend. Long list this weekend, by the way. 47-year-old Stuart Sink, proud golfing alum of the Georgia Institute of Technology, wins the RBC Heritage at Harbortown and Hilton Head, wins by 4 shots, and what's better, had his son Reagan on the bag. Second time those two have worked their way. He is one of 2 multiple winners on the tour this year. Pack, my favorite note from yesterday is when they teed off, Sink was 47, his son is 24, and so was Colin Morikawa, who was playing with Sink.
Yeah.
He and Reagan are the same age. I thought, well, Stuart, what are you going to talk to these kids about?
Well, more importantly, here's what I'd be thinking about as the looper there. Hey, Pops, it's about, 20% of the winnings? 2 commas in this. 2 commas in this check. Well, and listen, family gets a discount. If you just hired some guy off the street, carried the bag, he gets his 5%. Yeah. But I think if you're in the family and you're out there looping it, I mean, there's alligators on that course. All right. First of all, the rate's a little bit higher. If Stuart and his family are listening now, and let me tell you something. If I'm carrying that, I've schlepped that PGA Tour bag for Boo Weekly on the Pro-Ams out here at Wells Fargo. I've done it. I've caddied on the PGA Championship for Tim Collins. But let me tell you something. If there's a golf course, it's got
2 times.
What are you talking about? 2 times.
2 loops. You've done 2 loops. Boo Weekly and Tim Collins.
Well, I've done Boo a couple times in the Pro-Am.
Okay,
Tim Collins
twice.
Tim Collins didn't make the cut. So it was back-to-back days at the Atlanta Athletic Club in August before I went to college. It was 103 degrees and made me wear long pants. But when you're on a golf course that's got alligators and your man wins, that rate goes from 5% to 20%. So if there's 2 commas in Stuart Sink's check today, I got news for you. As the looper, I'm getting a piece of that. Guarantee you that, Dad. Yeah, the Titleist is over there by the alligator. Man. I suggest the 7-iron. Here, you hit it. That's how that works at Hilton Head. Even, Bobby Cremins will tell you there's alligators at Hilton Head.
Oh, I know there are alligators on the Harbortown course.
You better believe it. You better not hit it sideways on that track.
Yeah,
we'll wait for you.
No question. Oh, man. All right. When we come back, we will get you to the worst of the weekend. But first, a quick reminder to you that the NFL Draft is coming up on ESPN April 29th through May 1st. Also on ABC, you'll get the college flair and the college perspective. Don't forget it's also available on ESPN Deportes, ESPN Radio, and always on the ESPN app. Packer and Durham's Monday show, presented by our good friends at New York Life, continues with the worst of the weekend. Now, whoa, wait a second. The black and chrome? Stop. I don't know. We may have to have an on-air discussion about that when we come back. Stay tuned.
The Packer and Durham Podcast.
You are watching Packer and Durham, presented by New York Life.
Yes, sir. New York Life, getting the job done. We appreciate their business. We'll take good care of them. They'll take good care of us. They'll take good care of you. Maybe that should be a tagline. Just saying. All right, 844-SAY-ACCN is the number. The other tagline is, when you play Harbortown, don't hit it off the fairway. Unless you have a caddy that is annoying you, and then you can say, listen, it's a Titleist 8, and I hit it deep, deep, deep over there by the pond. You'll never see them again. Tell you what, you got to be careful out there, man. They don't have those little gators either, Wes. They got those kind of been
No, they got the big ones.
Yeah, they got those prehistoric 23-footers that just sit there and go, look at this loser coming over here in his plaid slacks looking for a $2 golf ball. Please, I'm not.
You talking about the big gators that generations ago used to roam the earth? Is that the kind you're talking about?
I'm talking about the kind of gators that when you come zipping through the swamp down there in the low country of South Carolina, which is so beautiful, you realize instantly we need a bigger boat. Those kind of gators. That's what I'm talking about. We need a bigger boat.
Thanks,
that
Roy Scheider. That was good.
Yeah, I'm just telling you. Second the big toe hits the water. The second the big toe hits the water, you are the visiting team. Yeah. I hope Reagan gets.
Yeah, we're going to get that stitched on a pillow, maybe T-shirts and hats.
Sink made 1.3 for winning this weekend.
Yeah.
Son should get at least $250,000. At least $250,000. Hey, I say this all the time. The easiest thing to do in the world is to talk about how somebody else should spend their money. It's the easiest thing in the world you can possibly do. Now, let me tell you what you ought to buy with that. Stuart Sink, now, that's your son out there caring for you. You're 47 years old. He's out there risking limb life. Of course, as pure as he hit it, he was never out of trouble. $250K is what he'd be on me for the son. $250.
Is that right?
That's my opinion.
Now, let me ask you this. If you won an event and let's say Emmy was on the loop.
Yeah.
And you got 1.3. Yeah. Would you give Emmy $250,000? And here's the next question.
No, I'd give her
more. Would you give Emmy $250,000?
More.
Okay. Pre or post tax?
No. If somebody writes you a check for 1.3, I would give her whatever she wanted, but she'd have to understand, hey, Uncle Sam's going to take half of what I'm getting ready to give you. You know, you learn that as a graduate at Clemson University, which she will be in 2 weeks, by the way. We are excited in this household. Speaking of $250,000 K, Wes, she is walking that stage in 2 weeks. And let me tell you something. When President Clements at Clemson University gives it Emerson Faith
Friend of
Packer,
the show.
Yeah, President Clements. When he gives it the Emerson Faith Packer, there's going to be some fat white boy in the stands going, yes, it's over. No more out-of-state tuition. God bless America. Greatest country in the world.
I think we probably need to have President Clemens on the week of graduation just to make sure there are no outstanding fees.
There are none. I'm
not so sure.
I know for a fact. I have combed the countryside to make sure we are good to go. Coming up first week in May.
Let's get to worst of the weekend.
All right,
let's get to worst of the weekend. I cannot believe this is on here, but I will let you. You put it on here. I'll let you defend.
These on. What do you mean? Did I put this one? I put every one of these on here. Yeah, this is on here.
You did not like North Carolina's.
No, I didn't.
Black and chrome look at the dome. I still think it might be navy, by the way.
Do some homework. It's black.
Okay.
Black. First time ever.
Okay.
They brought out the blacks. I'm going to say it again. It's just like I'm going to get on NC State's case or anybody else. Hey, what are your school colors, Wes? You've been part of the North Carolina family indirectly, directly for 8 decades. What are the school colors at North Carolina? Give them to me, please. The official spokesperson. Tell
Carolina
me what they are.
Blue and white.
That's it.
Period. Carolina blue and white.
Period. Yeah. Black, silver, chrome. Hey, it ain't for me. I'm not buying it, but I bought the way they played. That's all I'm going to tell you. Love the way they played.
All right. Okay.
They're not for me. Go with your school. If you didn't know you're channel surfing, you just said, hey, was Syracuse playing the Oakland Raiders? What are we doing today? No, you're not.
Okay.
Carolina blue and white, as distinctive a color combination as there is in college athletics, and you're out there in black and chrome. Come on.
All right. Okay.
You're on my list.
I knew this game was going to make the list. I knew the minute that I texted you guys how long it took, I knew this game was going to make the list. Because Georgia Tech, Virginia Tech was a West Durham special on Friday night. Jackets won the game 15-11, and they played it in 4 hours and 26 minutes. Wow.
Look at that shot. Whew, was that a bomb? Yeah, the only thing missing was you doing play-by-play. That's why I call it the West Durham special.
Oh,
Man, there were some shots in this game, man. I mean, they hit some bombs in that game. Tech, old Tech, new Tech. That was a good series. Really good series.
yeah, really was. Worst of the weekend, Trevor Lawrence had to issue a statement to respond to criticism, Pack?
I wouldn't have said a word. I'd have just said, hey, you know what? Great. Catch me. What's the date of the draft? 29th? Catch me on the 29th.
It's a week from Thursday. Yeah,
right.
10 days away.
I'll wave at you with the first pick. Wave at you. And by the way, you know what? It'd be the same idiots that are making a stink about Trevor Lawrence are probably going to gripe, oh, I can't believe he and his wife only gave $20,000 to Jacksonville charities. The guy making that kind of should have paid $100. Seriously, people have the stupidest takes. The guy is a great player, a first-class person. He's married. He's got his degree. He's an incredible talent, and you wish him nothing but the best. End of debate. That's all you need to know. All this garbage I've been hearing about, it is a joke. It is a total joke. World that we live in.
Clemson baseball got swept at Miami, and the Tigers need to find one in the left column. They've lost 6 straight now, Pack.
It's been a tough year. And I would tell you, there's 2 teams in ACC baseball this year that, let's be honest, have been somewhat disappointing. Duke is one, Clemson is the other. Right? We're so used to seeing both those teams, especially May and June, running deep in the tournament and really playing well. They have both really, really struggled. And Clemson, 6 straight L's. And listen, baseball is an important deal in Tiger Town. And I guarantee old Monty Lee probably catching some grief from the locals. That is not going to go over well.
No, that's a tough one. Last one, and tell you what, you hate to see a season end, period, but one like this is really disappointing. And Louisville had a lead in the 5th and fell to Washington in the NCAA volleyball tournament regional semifinals. They lose 3-2. So Coach Busboom Kelly and the Cards season comes to a close in a very, very disappointing way.
Yeah, that would have been a great win. Listen, you got to get to 15 in that 5th set. You're up 11-5 with seemingly all the momentum, and it just got away from them. They just could not close. And that's unfortunate because had they won the game, again, the biggest word in sports, if they would have won, we would have had Louisville against Pitt today, or the next match to determine who gets to the Final Four. But Pitt's still alive, so that's good news for Coach Fisher. But a tough loss, tough way to end it for Louisville yesterday.
Absolutely right. That is a look at the worst of the weekend. When we come back, young man we talked to a couple of weeks ago, and we've gone more in depth on what Mike Adler went through in his experience with a shark.
Been trying to tell you.
It just tells you Mark Packer's got this thing sorted out. The story of Mike Adler and his surfing next on Packer and Durham, presented by New York Life.
The Packer and Durham Podcast. This is the Packer and Durham Podcast.
Packer and Durham, brought to you by New York Life. Our next segment goes back to something I've been saying on radio I've been doing radio since 1997, so almost 25 years, 24 to be exact. I've been saying this, and I am not a big fan of the beach, as you well know. You can stick me in the mountains, but the beach is a different animal. That's why next month will be an excursion, but we'll get to that at that point in time. But I've been saying it for 20-some-odd years on radio. The second your big toe hits the water, you're the visiting team. And since I said that some 20-some-odd years, it's amazing how often I'll get people send me shark bite stories or jellyfish stings or something bit me which wasn't a shark. And I'm like, hey, you guys aren't listening. Pay attention. You are the visiting team. It's called a food chain. You get in there with your cool swim shorts and a couple cocktails, and boy, the swim's great. Tide's awesome. Thinks it's awesome. You just ate a big old swordfish for lunch. Think it's real cute.
Let's go out to the sandbar. Let's see if we can make it out to the sandbar, and we'll stand there.
Right. Let's go out there. That'd be really cool. And you get about halfway over there, and all of a sudden, some fin pops up, and you're like, oh, boy. Yeah, oh, boy is right. You are the visiting team. And never has that been more spot on than our buddy Mike Adler, who's the goaltender, if you will, for the Duke lacrosse team. And he was on with us, I don't know, 2 weeks ago, and we brought this up. So sit back, enjoy, and certainly pay attention to what Mike Adler's got to tell you.
You're all alone. No one's telling you what to do. You literally can't surf and think about something. Like if you're on a wave, it's kind of all-consuming. That's the feeling that I'm always searching for in the goal. And as a goalie, you want to be locked in and you want to be on that in the zone.
Hiltz accelerating. Fires 1-2 with the crease. Adler the save.
Duke lacrosse goalkeeper Mike Adler prides himself on living in the moment, a way of life that he learned from one of his other passions, surfing.
I grew up in Fort Lauderdale, and it was like a 2-minute drive to the beach. Once kind of middle school happened, some of my friends got into it, and then I fell in love with kind of everything around surfing. I honestly almost quit lacrosse a couple times to just be like, I just want to surf the whole time. Well, I went to California, and I realized there was 12-year-olds that were better than me at surfing, and then I realized it wasn't really a career path, but it's something fun to do and get away from the game for a bit.
Adler and his friends were always looking for the best waves. During the summer of 2013, they took a road trip up to Central Florida.
We make the 2.5-hour drive up to this place called Spanish House, and the waves are absolutely insane. I'm surfing there with 4 of my friends.
And we were a bit spread out, you don't want to really be all on top of each other. And, next thing we know, we kind of look on the beach. We didn't even hear anything. We heard Mike kind of like yelp a little bit, kind of thought it was like maybe he got a good wave or something.
As I'm paddling in, I just, as I'm getting back on my board, I feel the rocks, all these rocks just clamp down on me. And I immediately knew it was a shark. So it takes my foot, it tries to pull me under for 2 seconds, and I rip my foot out of its mouth. And I'm like, oh my God. And I see its whole tail come up out of the water. And then immediately from that point on, I'm just paddling as fast as I can to the beach because I'm like, is this thing gonna come get me again? As I step foot onto the sand, I look down and it looks like my foot just got ran over by a lawnmower.
It's definitely super scary to see your best friend kind of laying on the beach with a lot of blood around them. You're thankful at first that he's not eaten, I guess, right? He's on the beach, so that's a very good sign.
The guy that was sitting on the beach in front of me happened to be a Green Beret in the Army, an Army medic. And he took my leash off my surfboard and used it as a tourniquet to stop some of the bleeding and wrapped a towel around me. The next thing I know, there's 10 people surrounding me. I tore 4 tendons in my foot, kind of every toe except for my big toe. And I got 50 stitches on my foot.
And then once Mike was kind of stable and the doctors had sewed him back up and everything, me and Matt and Will just, kind of got back out there and went and surfed again a little bit. It seemed like the situation was under control. I would say people get bit by sharks more often than the waves are good. So, the odds lined up. We had to be back out there, take advantage of the situation.
I was a 16-year-old. I loved the attention. So at the time I was like, this is so sweet. I just got bit by a shark. My friends are all like, oh my God. And it was hilarious. But yeah, I don't have that same thought process anymore.
Because of the shark bite, Adler cannot move any of his little toes upward on his left foot. But almost 8 years later, now a grad student at Duke, the injury does not impact his ability to be one of the best shot stoppers in the nation.
I approach everything just with 100% passion and enthusiasm, and I think that kind of shows up in my play a lot.
He's a heck of a player, but man, you're crazy.
Oh, tell the truth. He's great. I mean, even when he told us the story, the other day, I was thinking to myself, okay, now they went back to the water? You mean they took you to the ER, made sure you got to the hospital, then they went back? Man, come on.
How did he get into Duke?
Heck,
How did he get into Duke, Wes? No, he
got into Duke because he's a talented lacrosse player and he's a heck of a student.
I'm kidding around.
Come on now.
He is a big-time player, and I keep telling you, I've kind of gotten the bug on this lacrosse thing now, men and the women in this league. And Thursday night, I'm just telling you, Thursday night at 7 p.m. has become appointment viewing on ACC Network, much like Friday Night Duels, how wrestling just kind of captured us. Well, it's doing the same deal on Thursday nights now. Thursday night in the springtime means lacrosse in this league. And I'm telling you, you're going to be incredibly – if you haven't seen a match this year, you're like, all right, I hear these two bozos in the morning, yada, yada, yada. All right, I'm going to sample it. You will not be disappointed. The sport is incredible, and this league is loaded with top 5 teams, top 10 teams. And you'll get another dose of it coming up with Notre Dame and Duke on Thursday night at 7 p.m. I guarantee you it'll be high energy, incredibly entertaining, back and forth. If you love scoring and physicality and speed and unbelievable defense and offense, it's got the whole deal. So, but Adler's a great dude. We really had a good time with him on the show, and his story's unbelievable.
So Notre Dame Duke is this week on Thursday night for men's lacrosse at 7 o'clock. That'll be a good one to see. And we'll keep an eye on lacrosse, both men's and women's, as we work our way through the spring schedule. Should be a lot of fun. I mean, there is some real firepower in this league. Quick reminder to you, don't forget Friday afternoon, we've got ACC baseball for you right here on ACC Network. And we've got game 1 of a fairly big weekend series. Number 19 Pittsburgh at Jim Patterson Stadium in Louisville to see the number 7 Cardinals. Friday afternoon, 3 o'clock Eastern, right before the Georgia Tech spring game. Right here on ACC Network and streaming live on the ESPN app. When we come back, do you know what the favorite food is in your state? And mark one up for the old guys, so to speak. Back after this.
Packer and Durham. This is the Packer and Durham podcast.
Packer and Durham, presented by New York Life.
That's right. That's right.
Loaded Monday show, as usual. Smart people doing a great job. Meg, and Josh, and Drew, back row Hank, Matt, whole crew. Awesome. But we're not done, though. We're not done. We still have a little bit more meat on the bone. And it all started yesterday, Harbortown. 47 years young. 47 years young. Win one for your son. Man. Win one for your son. It. Put $250K in his back pocket. All you got to do is get that thing home on 18. Just get it home. Come on. Close the deal.
Stop.
Pretty cool, huh? That's a cool story. Really cool.
Kenny Perry, Julius Burrows, Sam Snead, the only other players to win a PGA Tour event.
Pretty strong.
Went twice on the tour since World War II at age 47 or older. It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Tell you what.
Can you imagine what a terror he'll be on the Champions Tour, by the way?
No. Please. He'll be killing those guys. I tell you what, people can mock that plaid blazer all you want, but let me tell you something. When you wear one of those, put some coin in the bank. You know what? Mm-hmm. I would have driven back to Atlanta in that thing. Seriously. I wouldn't take it off. I'd wear it and say, yeah, you're right. You're exactly right. I just won this bad boy right here.
1.3 million.
Wow, that's a good work. Hey, that's a good week of work right there. Walk around that joint, alligator free, 1.3.
How much you giving to your son? How much you giving to your son?
I would give them whatever they wanted. You know what? At that point, Stuart, listen, I'm not sneezing at 1.3. That's a lot of money. But, that's, he's worked it, man. He's earned it. He's made a ton of cash. That's we just talked about the Boeheim family getting together this year in hoops. How cool that's going to be. How cool is that if you're Stuart Sink? You got your son on the bag. You're out there at Harbortown just wearing out every one of those flat bellies, just wearing them out. Yeah, that's right, boys. You're away, and you're 6 back. What are you going to do about it? I'm about ready to put 1.3 in my back pocket because I wore all of you out. All of you. Keep it in the short grass, man. Make those 4-footers. You can do some stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like it. Okay. Make you think of having a comeback, doesn't it?
No, not at all. I told you my story. Man. I told you my story at Harbor Town.
I know.
Swear to God, the last time I ever played it, I had mono. I was a 15-year-old snot-nosed kid out there trying to break 100, and I hit it left of the gunge on 18 out into the swamp, and the guy found it. Worst thing ever. Now I got mono. It's 99 degrees in Harbor Town in the middle of the summer. And the guy, the marshal's out there, hey, son, I found your ball. I'm like, oh, please keep it. I'm on my deathbed. I just want to get out of here. And he shows me the ball, and I actually had a good lie out in the swamp. And I made it from the swamp. Every time I see that hole, I laugh and go, you know what? I might have shot 98 or whatever it was that day, but I slam dunked it from the swamp on 18. People were cheering. Boy, what'd that kid shoot? 98. Greatest 98 I've ever seen. They didn't give me 1.3 million walking off that green.
Oh, man.
It's a long time ago.
Congratulations to Stuart Sink. It's a great moment for his family. And former Yellow Jacket wins for the 3rd time at the RBC Heritage. A website called, best I can tell, Today in Sports has listed the favorite foods in every state in the union. So we decided to pull the ACC states. And here we go.
Oh,
Florida,
please.
key lime pie.
Come on.
Georgia, peach cobbler. Indiana, breaded pork tenderloin sandwich. Kentucky, the Commonwealth favorite known as burgoo.
Not happening.
Massachusetts, clam chowder. New York, buffalo wings. North Carolina, pulled pork pack.
Of course.
Pennsylvania, cheesesteak. South Carolina, shrimp and grits. And Virginia, Brunswick stew. Huh. Your thoughts?
First of all,
being
today
the food connoisseur on this show.
Well, I am the foodie. There's no doubt about that. Today in Sports 3, got to tell you, I don't follow you. I have no idea who you are, which doesn't matter. I would ask the question of how many followers at Today in Sports 3 has. That normally tells me something when I know how many followers you have. Do you know the answer?
9,385.
Well, that's about 9,380 more than I thought they'd have.
Okay.
Whatever that was in Kentucky, I've never had it. I got to tell you, I will lean to Eric Wood and the coveted invite.
Vince Tyree. How about Vince Tyree?
Well,
we'll ask him.
I got to tell you something. When we make our appearance in the Commonwealth, I'm not sure burgoo is on my to-do list. I need to learn a little bit more about burgoo. It will be.
You need to taste it. It's good.
Oh, you've had it? You've had it?
Yeah, I've had it. Yeah.
I
had it at the racetrack.
And you would order it?
Yeah. I mean, I might get a small cup of burgoo. It's like an Irish stew.
Oh, yeah.
It's like Brunswick stew with kind of more gravy, if you will. It's got meat and it's got vegetables and.
Well, the meat I'd be interested in. The vegetable part, no. How about I do this? When it's time to order, when we get to the Commonwealth, how about you order burgoo for you and you can have mine, and I'll just go extra brown water. How about that? I'll just go liquid diet while you guys swallow whole with burgoo. I'm going to pass on the burgoo, please. Just saying.
Let me ask you a question. Is this something you're not interested in because of its name?
I just don't like the sound of it. I mean, listen, I lived in Louisiana.
That's exactly what I said.
Well, wait a minute.
That's exactly what I thought.
Hold on a second. I lived in Louisiana, all right? And nobody makes better food in the world than those Cajuns down there in Louisiana. And there was stuff on my plate I never heard of before. It was the greatest tasting stuff ever. Couldn't even tell you what it was. But burgoo in Kentucky, I'm gonna have to next. I'll take one in play there. I'll go next on Burgoo.
Non-next.
Yeah.
Non-next. Kelsey and EJ would be proud to hear that.
How about I order apple or orange juice before I order Burgoo? How about that?
Stop.
In honor of in play.
Stop it. All right. Okay. Thanks to Justin Anderson of Carolina Lacrosse, who joined us earlier. Thanks to Gina Kim, the individual champion of conference champion Duke women's golf, for being a part of our show. Tomorrow,
Reagan,
Clemson
get your money,
goalie
Reagan.
George Marks
Get your money.
is with us on the show. Thanks to New York Life as well for sponsoring the Monday show. See you tomorrow morning at 7 a.m.
Tune into Packer and Durham weekday mornings from 7 to 10 Eastern for the best conversations about everything from the ACC. Find it on the ACC Network, SiriusXM Channel 371, and streaming on the ESPN app.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is LG Granderson here to tell you about my new podcast from ABC Audio called Life Out Loud. This show is all about preserving the history and honoring the contributions of the LGBTQ community. Each week, I'll talk to some of the most fascinating people paving the way toward a more inclusive world. These conversations can get heavy, but this show is also going to be filled with so much joy. And I mean, after all, we are called gay people, right? So got to be some happiness in there somewhere. Check out Life Out Loud with me, LZ Granderson, wherever you get your podcasts.